Have you ever heard about the cryptocurrency Bitcoin and thought to yourself, it sounds complicated? Probably not for me. Well, today we are going to change that by breaking it all down simply and clearly. You will learn what Bitcoin is, why it matters, how it works, and what you should know before thinking about investing. By the end of this video, you will understand Bitcoin better than 99% of people. Before we get started, if you like this kind of content, you can join our channel, The Road to El Dorado, where we lead people towards financial prosperity. Like and subscribe. Now, let's get started. Let's start with the basics. Bitcoin is digital money, but it's very different from the dollars, euros, or yen that we use every day. Traditional money is controlled by governments and banks. They can print more whenever they like, they can freeze accounts, and they can block transactions. Bitcoin is the opposite. It's decentralized, which means that no single government, bank, or corporation controls it. It's run by a global network of computers that anyone can join. Think of Bitcoin like the Internet of money. Just like nobody owns the Internet, no single person owns Bitcoin. And just like an email can travel the world instantly, Bitcoin can move from person to person, anywhere, 24/7, without asking permission. It's money designed for a digital global world. Bitcoin didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was born at a very specific moment in history during the 2008 global financial crisis. Banks collapsed, people lost their savings, governments had to step in and bail out giant corporations, often at the expense of everyday people. There was a deep sense of frustration, a feeling that the system was broken and that regular people had no control over their own money. In 2008, a mysterious person or group of people called Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The idea was revolutionary. Create a form of money that wasn't controlled by any central authority. A system where people can send value to one another directly, securely, and without the need of a middleman like a bank. In January 2009, Bitcoin's network went live, and the first block, called the Genesis block, was mined. Interestingly, Satoshi left a hidden message inside the first block from the title of a newspaper article saying, "The Times, 3rd of January 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks." It was a clear reference to the broken traditional system and a declaration that Bitcoin was something different. Alright, now that we know why it was created, let's understand how Bitcoin actually works. And don't worry, we'll keep it simple. Bitcoin runs on something called a blockchain. Imagine a notebook, but not just any notebook, a special notebook that is open for anyone to see anywhere in the world. Every time a Bitcoin transaction happens, it's written into this notebook. And once it's written, it's permanent. You can't erase it, you can't change it. This notebook is called the blockchain. A chain of blocks, each containing a bunch of transactions that are linked together securely. Now, the question is, who writes inside of this notebook? That's where miners come in. Bitcoin miners are computers all around the world that are competing to solve an extremely complex math puzzle. The first one to solve the puzzle gets to write the next page in the notebook and is rewarded with new Bitcoin. This process is called proof of work, and it's also the thing that is making Bitcoin so extremely secured. The reason is because in order for you to attack the Bitcoin network, you will need to take control of over 50% of all of the mining Bitcoin computers around the world. This is going to cost many billions, if not trillions of dollars in hardware and electricity. Now, something very important you need to understand is that when you are owning Bitcoin, you are not physically holding anything. Instead, you have a special kind of key called the private key, and this private key proves that you own Bitcoin that is stored on the blockchain. Think of it like a super secured password. If you lose your key, however, you lose your Bitcoin. This is why security is crucial in the crypto world. To make this easier, people use crypto wallets, software or hardware that helps you safely store your keys. A hot wallet is a website or an app that is connected to the internet. This one is very easy and convenient to use, but it is slightly less secured. A cold wallet is a device that stores your private keys offline. This one is much safer, especially if you are holding large amounts of money, but you hold the responsibility of storing your key. So, why does Bitcoin matter so much? Why has it captured the imagination of millions? First of all, because of scarcity. There will only ever be 21 million bitcoins. That's it, forever. This is different from fiat currencies like dollars or euros, where the central banks can print more at any time. Bitcoin is more like gold, except it's even more scarce because we already know the exact final supply. Second, decentralization. Bitcoin is not controlled by any government or country. It's running on a network of thousands of individual nodes around the world. If one country decides to shut Bitcoin down, it doesn't matter. The network will simply continue running elsewhere. Third, freedom. Billions of people around the world don't have access to a reliable banking system. With Bitcoin, all that you need is a smartphone and internet access. If you have that, then you can start storing and sending value globally. And finally, transparency. Every Bitcoin transaction is recorded on the blockchain and it's visible to anyone from anywhere. There is no hidden accounting and no shady backroom deals. It's a system built on clear rules and no trust in the middleman. Over the past decade, Bitcoin has been the best performing asset on the planet. In 2010, you could buy a Bitcoin for just a few cents. Today, one Bitcoin is worth about $100,000. This massive price increase is due to supply and demand. The supply is fixed at 21 million Bitcoin, while the demand keeps on rising. Individuals, companies, and now even governments are buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin is also seen as a hedge against inflation. When central banks print trillions of dollars, the value of each individual dollar decreases. Bitcoin, with its fixed supply, becomes more attractive as a way to protect purchasing power. Large institutions like Tesla, MicroStrategy, and BlackRock have started adding Bitcoin to their portfolios. This is a strong indication that Bitcoin is moving from a risky experiment towards a legitimate asset class. Finally, Bitcoin operates outside the traditional financial system. In some countries with unstable currencies like Venezuela, Argentina, or Zimbabwe, Bitcoin has become a lifeline for many people. It's not just an investment, for some, it's survival. Of course, Bitcoin isn't all upsides. There are some real risks you should understand. First, you have high volatility. Bitcoin's price can move dramatically within short periods of time. It's not uncommon to see 10% swings within the day. If you can't stomach seeing your investment fluctuate wildly, then Bitcoin might be stressful. Second, regulations. Governments around the world are figuring out how to regulate Bitcoin. Some, like El Salvador, embrace it. Others, like China, have banned it outright. Future regulations could impact Bitcoin's price, trading, and even tax treatment. Third, technology risks. Right now, Bitcoin's encryption is extremely strong, but in the distant future, new technologies like quantum computers could challenge it. However, Bitcoin's community is aware of this, and future updates are possible to strengthen security further if needed. And finally, the risk of human error. Losing your private key, sending Bitcoin to a wrong address, or falling for scams. These mistakes are permanent and irreversible. Owning Bitcoin means taking full responsibility for your own money. Now, let's talk a bit about the potential upside. Bitcoin has something known as the network effect. This means that the more people use it, the more valuable it becomes. It's like the internet. When only a few people used email, it wasn't that useful. But when millions did, it changed the world. As Bitcoin adoption grows, individuals, companies, and now even governments, the value of the network grows exponentially. Some analysts believe that Bitcoin could eventually be worth a few $100,000. If the total market capitalization of Bitcoin reaches that of gold, then the price per coin would be approximately $1 million. The price of Bitcoin might go even beyond that if it manages to capture a significant portion of the global wealth. And for the time being, it seems that it's going in the right direction. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, but the potential is enormous. So, to wrap it all up, Bitcoin is a revolutionary form of digital money. It was created after the 2008 financial crisis as a new decentralized alternative. It runs on a blockchain, an open, transparent, irreversible record. It's scarce, secured, and accessible to anyone who has internet access. The profit potential is huge, but there is also risk. If you're thinking about getting involved, start small. Do your own research and never invest more than what you can afford to lose. Congratulations! By watching this video, you've taken your first important step on your Bitcoin journey and you already understand it better than 99% of people in the world. If you found this valuable, please like the video and subscribe to the Road to El Dorado. Let's continue this journey to financial freedom together. We're leading the way.